Welcome to my classroom. I'm Matt Corey. This is room 213, and I wanted to show you inside here what the room's going to look like this year. I'm going to pause this. You can see that the desks are all spaced out. We're observing social distancing, of course. So the desks are 6 feet apart, so everyone has their own space, and you're as safe as we can make you. So I wanted you to see that, and I also, of course, want to tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about the class. So let me show you, first of all, my contact information. This is Communications 12, and I am Mr. Corey. And there you can see my phone number and my email. Please feel free to contact me with any questions you might have. I also put some pictures on here of me and some of the things that are important to me. So first of all, one thing that's very important to me is my wife. That's Mara. And another thing is travel. We love to travel. We travel together almost every single time we do travel. And these are some of the pictures of us going to different places around the world. On the bottom left there, that's London. It's my favorite city. And bottom in the middle there, we're in Northern Ireland at the Giant's Causeway. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. Bottom right, that's Australia. Top right, we're at Bath in England, where the Roman people established these thermal baths. And then the top in the middle there, I am at an abbey in England where they filmed the the hallway scenes for the Harry Potter movies. This other page then shows you a little bit more about my family. That little kid is my son Xander. And on the top left, my wife and I are in Japan with him. We went 2 summers ago. We had this great opportunity, so we went to Japan. It was a fantastic trip. On the top right, my son and I are at our Taekwondo class. That's on Father's Day. They were trying to get more fathers to enroll with their kids. I'd already enrolled with Xander a few months before. We started in late 2018, end of October, I believe it was, and we've been at it ever since. We have moved up 8 belt levels in that time, and we are 3 belts away from the black belt, and we're hoping we'll be able to do that in 2021. We'll see how it goes. You can see that he's in the bottom middle picture there, Xander, holding a trophy. That's Master Lee. Master Lee is one of our main instructors at the Taekwondo school where we go. The other two pictures are probably much more important than all the rest of these. These are my true friends, Sasha and Ben. Sasha's on the lower left there. She's a Labrador mix, and Ben on the lower right. He is an English cream golden retriever. So he's not at all golden, but he is a sweet kid. So that's a little bit about me, and of course I want to tell you about the class. The purpose of the class, of course, is to continue improving your skills in reading, writing, and thinking, get you prepared for graduation and whatever else you might have in mind for yourself after you graduate. One focus we'll have this trimester is to learn about different perspectives on the same material. So we're going to be looking at a couple of different things where we look at different perspectives, and one is just like life in general, how people view life in general. Another is different stories. So we'll take stories that a number of cultures have all told, and we'll look at the different elements they choose to include, which is fairly interesting. And from some of that, we're going to write some paragraphs and essays. And if you are planning on enrolling in a college or junior college next year and you need a college entrance essay, we'll be putting some together. We're going to be using the Common App essay prompts to work on some of that stuff. Specifically, these are going to be our units this trimester, Try 1. We're going to start by doing an identity unit. So we're going to look at poetry that tells about either personal identity or cultural identity or both. And I'm going to have you write some things about who you are based on your upbringing, based on your culture, your family's traditions, and those types of things. We're going to be looking at the book Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. You may know Trevor Noah from The Late Show. I forget what he calls his actually because I watch a number of late shows. He's fairly funny. He was born in South Africa during the time of apartheid, which meant that whites and blacks were segregated. He had I believe it was a white father and a black mother, and they were not allowed to live together because it was taboo. So he talks about how even being born was a crime in South Africa because he was born to parents of different races. After that unit, we're going to do the different perspectives, as I was talking about before, and we're going to look at fairy tales for the most part. Little Red Riding Hood is one that's told over and over and over again, and we'll look at how the different cultures talk about the story, what the real purpose of the story is. Hansel and Gretel is another one that's told throughout different countries, and also Bluebeard. And we will look at how these things compare and contrast and do a bit of writing with that. And then at the end of the trimester, we will be reading A Streetcar Named Desire, which is a play and also a movie, an old movie with Marlon Brando. We're going to look at the female character for the most part in Streetcar Named Desire. Her name is Blanche, and we'll look at how she's a tragic hero. So a tragic hero is a person that you like for the most part, but they have a flaw, and their flaw or character defect causes them to do terrible things, which brings suffering to them and to their family and eventually makes everything fall apart. So, not a very upbeat story, but a good story nonetheless. So, that'll be the trimester. A few other things that I wanted to tell you. One is that classwork this trimester will all be done online, whether you're in the classroom or not in the classroom. So when we do work in the classroom, I'll have you reference things on Schoology. I will not be giving out paper copies of things. So you'll need to bring your Chromebook with you or another device that can access Schoology. All of our work will be on Schoology, so any handouts that you'll need will be on there. I'll use Google Docs as much as I can so that you can easily fill the assignments out, and you will turn in your assignments through Schoology as well. Something new for this year, though, is that the gradebook on Schoology is going to be our main gradebook. We will not be using Infinite Campus for anything this year except to submit grades to your parents, to the system, to whatever we submit them to. Once I press a button, I don't care where they go. But that grade will be the same grade you have in Schoology. So Schoology will be the place to go for everything. Late work, I do absolutely take late work, but do know that there is a time limit. So if you miss something in the first 3 weeks, you need to make sure that gets to me by the 4th week before we send out 4-week grade reports. And then the same thing for weeks 5 through 7. I'll need it before week 8 is over so that I can grade it and get it in the grade book. And then the rest of the trimester, I'll need it before finals week. So late work, please do it and turn it in, even if it's late. But know that it has a certain end period, and also that you will get some points off. The grading scale is the traditional grading scale, which you can see there on the screen. And then lastly, we are hoping to do everything in our power to make the school as safe as can be for everyone who comes into it. So we are requiring face masks. Please make sure you have a number of face masks available to you. They should be washed every time that you wear them. So when you get home each day, put your mask in the wash, or if they're disposable, obviously, you'll throw them away. But one for each day of the week is the best practice for that. Social distancing will be enforced, so you saw my desks, of course, are 6 feet apart. Try to be sure you are also 6 feet from other people, even though that seems really weird. You don't want to get this virus and you don't want to pass it if you happen to be a carrier. Also, when you come in the room, every single classroom is going to have hand sanitizer available. So please sanitize on the way in, sanitize on the way out. Make sure you're not passing any germs as much as possible. And one final thing that we're doing to try to reduce your exposure to the virus is we are doing a block schedule. So the block schedule means fewer transitions, fewer times you're going to come in contact with other people, and that means less chance of contracting the virus. So we're hoping that these practices will be upheld by everyone in the building, and we're hoping that they make all of us stay safe. And that's about all I have for you. So again, here's my contact information. If you have any questions about any of these things that I've been talking about or anything else about the class, please let me know. And I will see you when you come to Simley, either on Monday or Thursday of our first week.